Good afternoon is what I meant. Good afternoon. Welcome to Pop Culture Corner. This is TY's Corner, the daily show. Happy to be here, guys. Lots to talk about today, including some breaking news coming out of Marvel, coming out of Disney Plus, and some premiere dual releases. Finally, Marvel kind of catching on to the bandwagon, catching on to the new flow of how things should be released right now during the pandemic. We also have some stuff, plenty of DCEU things to talk about today. Before we get into all that, guys, I just want to say shout out to our Patreon Corner members, Keaton, Reed, Nick Tapama, Odd, and that one Carlos. We want to welcome that one Carlos to the Patreon Corner. We also have some new subscribers. So here are some new subscribers: Mike Emidio, Nasif Rao, Marvif 1316, Angelomala. I like how that comes off the tongue. And Gotham Man K. Welcome. It's good to have you guys at the corner. So before we get into the stories, I do have some stuff to talk about. It was a beautiful day here in Boston today, Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021. Just took the dog for a walk. And guess what we saw? Guess what we saw outside? You'll never guess. I'm just going to say it. We saw a police chase. Yeah, so I was walking the dog. So we come out. This is the second police chase I've seen, by the way, in Boston. So I was walking the dog, coming down the street, and we were going to the convenience store up the road. And all of a sudden I started hearing sirens, nothing new out of Boston. And this police car jumps the curb, like probably 100 feet up from where I was standing. A police cruiser jumps the curb. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And he kind of like speeds into like a U-turn and then takes off down the street. And I was like, what the hell was that? Like, I mean, I've seen cops do some crazy things, like to get out of being in traffic, yada, yada, yada. But never have I ever seen a cop jump the curb, speed into like a Fast and the Furious style U-turn, and then take off down the street. Then it gets crazier. Then this blue Honda Civic blows by me. It blows by the Logan and I just like I looked at the puppy and I was like, something's not right. And then probably like 5 or 6 police cruisers now come by me, all going like, probably like 60, 70 miles an hour, blow by me one after another. And I was just like, that's a police chase. That guy's being chased. That was awesome. And then we kind of just like tried to peer into the road to see what was happening, but I couldn't see too much more. They were kind of out of my... Yes, plot twist. Superman drops out of the sky and stops it. That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for kind of like, Iron Man or Captain America to like jump in front of the car that was running and like stop it with their shield or their body. But it didn't happen. The police were on their own on this one. But it was crazy. And I've seen a police chase before. That's the craziest part. Kind of in the same location, I saw a police chase probably right when I moved into this house in Boston. It was pretty epic. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, beautiful day out. I don't know what was happening with that guy. Maybe his girlfriend hates him and kicked him out of the house, and then he went and robbed a bank. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah. So thank you to our Patreon members, guys. If this is your first time at the channel, we want to welcome you and thank you for joining us. If you're returning, you are the lifeblood of the Pop Culture Corner, and consider becoming a Patreon member. You get access to some pretty cool stuff, behind the scenes footage or pictures, stuff like that, nothing crazy. But then you get early access to podcasts, early access to pre-recorded content, and then pretty much whatever else we can hit you with, including a gift each year, discounted merch, private community, private Discord, all that good stuff. Guys, make sure you get in the chat today. Let's get in the chat. Join the conversation live because we do have a lot of stuff to talk about. Listen, the first thing I'm bringing up, I know I'm behind on, but with all the Snyder Cut stuff that happened, the Snyder Cut dropping, we never actually talked about it, but the Batman has wrapped production. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm actually really eager to see Robert Pattinson play the Batman. And like I said, I know we're late on the story, but this is like kind of like the first chance I'm getting to speak about it. But yeah, so the Batman has wrapped production and filming with Robert Pattinson, Matt Reeves directing. I don't know about you guys, but the trailer that we did get at DC Fandom, I enjoyed it a lot, and I was, from that moment, before that, I was a little skeptical about Robert Pattinson's Batman. I didn't know if he had the physique or the acting chops to bring Bruce Wayne and Batman to life. But, after the trailer that we did get, I was a little bit more sold, a little bit more anticipating of his Batman. So, I know that this production faced a lot of adversaries, I should say. I know Keaton's hyped about it. This movie faced a lot, and a lot of it was due to COVID-19. And, they were getting shut down for this guy getting COVID, this guy getting COVID. Someone was always getting COVID, and then production would shut down. So this movie faced a lot of bad, they had a lot of hurdles to jump. But it's good to see that production did wrap, and now they'll be going into post-production, and the editing team will kind of be taken over, and hopefully we'll get another trailer pretty soon for The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz. I almost said Zoe Saldana, but no, Zoe Kravitz. I'm excited to see Zoe as Catwoman as well. Paul Dano as the Riddler. I think the cast is being rounded out as one of the better casts for a Batman film. So it'll be interesting to see, where we go and how they go, what direction they use, what kind of Batman they use. From what we've seen, it looks to be like it's like a little bit of a mix between, Christian Bale's Batman with Ben Affleck's Batman, but like a happy medium. So maybe that's the way they're going to kind of appease to all fans alike. But this story, not too big, we're definitely a little bit late on it, but I figured we could talk about it for a little bit. Anyway, what else do we got here today? I know a lot of stuff happened. Lots of stuff. Oh, actually, we can get into this. So, Michael Keaton, speaking of Batman characters, Michael Keaton went on record as to say that so it's not that he won't be in The Flash, but back to the whole COVID-19 thing, it's the fact that he doesn't know what the precautions, protocols, etc., are going to be in the UK. So COVID-19 is really the only thing that's standing between Michael Keaton being in the Flash movie. So I think that's kind of unfortunate that we live in a society. I'm pretty upset that we live in a world right now where the only thing that's holding us back is really this, COVID-19 production. Not COVID-19 production, but this COVID-19 pandemic. So Keaton basically is saying that if he had it his way, of course he would be in the film, but it's not his way, and he doesn't know, what the future holds. Basically saying that COVID-19 in the United Kingdom is going to be the deciding factor on whether he makes it into the Flash movie with Ezra Miller, Sasha Calle, Ben Affleck, and that's kind of unfortunate. I think the Muschiettis are going to do something great with this movie. I know we had talked about it yesterday about the Snyderverse and continuing the Snyderverse, and the Variety article that came out, and it is unfortunate that's the way that they're perceiving as executives, but I don't think it's a total loss. I don't think if they do go a different direction from the Snyderverse, I don't think we should all give up on it, just yet. I don't. And I'm excited to see what they've got in store for us post Zack Snyder's Justice League. So let's take a look at this article from The Cultured Nerd. I know I'm using The Cultured Nerd. I know. All right, here it is. So Michael Keaton gives uncertain update on his return as Batman for The Flash. So as we see here, I just wanted to get to this quote. I am needing a minute to think about it because I'm so fortunate and blessed. And I got so much going on now. I'm really into work right now. I don't know why, but I am. And so, yeah, I mean, to tell you the truth, somewhere on my iPad is an iteration of the whole Flash thing that I haven't had time yet. I called them and said, I have to be honest with you. I can't look at anything right now. I'm so deep into this thing. I'm doing Hulu series Dope Sick. Also, I'm prepping a thing I'm producing and getting ready to do down the road in the fall that I'll be in, and I feel responsible for that. That was hard to read, dude. Jesus Christ. So yeah, there's that. I'm not being cute or coy. If I talked about Batman, I'll just be bullshitting you. I don't really know. I have to look at that last draft. And then he goes on to say, I'm more concerned. I keep my Jesus Christ. I keep my eye more on the COVID situation in the UK than anything. That will determine everything, and so that's why I'm living outside the city here on 17 acres, staying away from everybody, because the COVID thing has got me really concerned. So that's my first thing about all projects. I look at it and go, is this thing going to kill me? Literally? And if it doesn't, then we talk. I'm going to see what happens here. This is going to be kind of fun. We'll see what happens. I think it's kind of a drag we're talking about it. As do I, Michael. And I'm like, do you really know what the hell you're talking about? I mean, I could bullshit you. But once I go, I don't know are we going this or not? They say, yeah, we're doing it. Then I go, okay. Bro, he is literally the hardest person to read about. Like, that was, these quotes here, from here to here, is the hardest thing I've ever had to read. That is absolutely atrocious. How does someone speak like that? My God. And Ryan, I hope you saw that I was just messing with you, bro. I love you. I was like, where have you been lately, man? But yeah, so basically Michael Keaton saying, like, it's pretty much, basically Michael Keaton hasn't even read what he'd be doing in The Flash. And he's got so much other stuff going on right now that, like, this really isn't a priority for Michael. Mr. Keaton. And that's unfortunate as well. Like, will he end up in The Flash? I don't know. I hope so. Although, like, I am going to be honest with you, I wouldn't cry if he didn't end up being in The Flash. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't get upset. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Would you be upset if Michael Keaton didn't end up actually in the Flash movie? Or do you think it'd be kind of cool to see Ben Affleck just be the only Batman in the film? I know that is a draw for a lot of people. Like, oh, Michael Keaton's Batman. That's their Batman. So seeing him in a new DC movie would be kind of cool for a lot of people. It would tug on their nostalgia bells a little bit. But listen, I am not going to be too upset if Michael Keaton doesn't end up in the Flash movie. It seems, and this is just me speculating here, so don't burn me at the stake or anything, please, but it doesn't look like he's too into it. Like, it doesn't sound like this is something he's all about right now. So, I mean, if he's got other stuff going on and he can't be 100% committed to being Batman in this film, or being a version of Batman in this film, do we really want him to come back and potentially start to be in another, extended universe somewhere where he will have to commit time and, potentially turn down other projects? It doesn't look like right now he's too involved in this film. It doesn't look like he's crazy about being Batman, he hasn't even read the part that he's supposed to be. He hasn't even read what he's supposed to be doing in that movie yet. Like, that, to me, that just doesn't sound like someone who's, like, super excited to be in it. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys going to be kind of upset if Michael Keaton doesn't end up in that movie as a cameo, a side character, yada, yada? Or is that okay to let Ben Affleck do his thing and let Ben Affleck shine and get more screen time as Batman? I'm all about that. Give it a Ben. Let Ben take over and let Ben be Batman for the movie. That's okay with me. Speaking of the DCEU, got some kind of cool news here. So Zatanna on HBO Max has found its writer. I don't know a lot about Emerald Fennell, but she will apparently pen the screenplay for the HBO Max original series. If you guys do know a little bit more about Emerald Fennell or any projects that she's done, I didn't get a chance to look too deep into her IMDb page. So if you know more about Emerald Fennell, let me know. But yeah, so she's going to be doing the writing for Zatanna. And I think Zatanna is a character that gets slept on a little bit. I think Zatanna could be an interesting HBO Max series. Here she is in Justice League, one of the Justice League fan art things. So Zatanna is a really underrated character. I think she doesn't get all the credit that she deserves. She is really interesting, and I do think that exploring a Zatanna series on long-form streaming service is actually a good idea. I'm very happy for Emerald Fennell. I'm very happy that they're bringing in a female writer to do this series. And I think that's really great. I think it's awesome. Everything's lining up pretty well. I really do hope that the John Constantine aspect is there. I hope they bring him in, whoever they do cast. If it's going to be... Oh, it's a movie, yeah. It's a movie? I thought that they said it was a... it's DC Films. I totally read that the wrong way. It is a movie. Why is it I thought they said the other day it was a series. No? I was kind of hoping for a series. Oh, maybe I'm mixing it up with the I am mixing it up with the other the Constantine thing. God damn it. Ah! All right, well that's still okay. So, even a movie, I just hope it's a movie that explores the character in an intimate way. Because for me, Zatanna has always been a favorite. Like, she's not my A-list, like my top 10 A-list characters. But Constantine is a series, and that's what I was mixing it up with, of course. So, because when I think of the two, when I think of Zatanna, I always think of Constantine. And I always want them to be in a series together. That's been my dream for... Well, it's not a dream, but it's been in my high hopes for a long time. Because I think Constantine and Zatanna are really fun characters. That's what I was so excited for. I was like, oh, Zatanna. Like, they got a writer. Awesome. Like, that means we're going to be getting, hopefully, Constantine in the show as well. But, so Constantine is a series. Zatanna's a film. I hope that with the interview that we got yesterday with Anne saying that there'll be a lot of connectivity between the two properties, like whether it's a TV show or a movie or a video game, there'll be connective tissue between the two. I think that is a good one to do it with, right? Is Zatanna, whether it's a film or series, and then Constantine, have them overlap or have them lead into one another. I think that would be a really cool idea. I'm very happy for Emerald Fennell. If I'm saying that correctly, congratulations for getting the job. And I have written down here that she's penning the script for DC Films. And then I called it a series. So, that's just how it goes. But either way, I'm excited. Zatanna getting a series. Zatanna getting a series. It's like, finally we're going to get to see what they could have done with Gambit. Right? It's like that whole Gambit project that was in the works for like 55 years, but we never saw. Even though Zatanna is a completely different character, they both have playing cards. So that's why I related the two. Like a fucking simpleton. Yeah, but Zatanna, good job. I can't wait to see that series, and hopefully it is done well. The next thing I want to talk about is something that's kind of close to my heart. So fans are calling for a boycott of HBO Max. Now, I have a lot to say about this. Because I think it's absolutely absurd that people are talking even remotely about boycotting HBO Max or deleting their subscription, canceling their subscription based on that interview that we got yesterday from Variety. Why? Okay, so HBO Max is going to be our ally. And I made a tweet, I posted a tweet and said that HBO Max is our ally. They are not our enemy. And what I mean by that is we need them in our overall vision of the Snyderverse, right? We need HBO Max. Hello, Belboo. How you doing today? I am very happy to be here. But yeah, so it's absurd on both WB and these boycotters. Listen, my thoughts on this whole thing are, it's absolutely crazy to think that boycotting HBO Max, where is it? Boycotting HBO Max will do anything good for anybody. That is absolutely, so we've been trying to send this message for a long time that we want the Snyderverse back. And we got it with Zack Snyder's Justice League. We got a little bit of an introduction to what the world building could have been. Why, at the first sign of pushback, right? This is the first thing we've heard from WB executives since Zack Snyder's Justice League came out. And we had to have known that there was going to be some pushback from WB executives that don't want the Snyderverse to be continued, or they think that, that's it. That's one and done. We gave you Justice League. That's it. We did our part. Now let's move on. We had to have known that was going to happen, right? We had to have known that the first thing that they said was probably going to be, listen, we're going to move on now, right? We've given you what you want. Now we had a vision. It's like a premonition of sorts. Just kidding. Wish I had that little, like a sound button that I could hit and it would do the for me, because I don't do it well. But we had to have known that the pushback was going to come from WB, right? It seems like at the first sign of anything bad, everyone's giving up. You can't give up now. The fight has just begun. We're going to need HBO Max in our, we don't want to burn bridges that we need to take on the way home, right? We need that on the way, on the victory road. We're going to need HBO Max as our platform to release Zack Snyder's Justice League, his film arc for 2 and 3, whether it's long form series versions or films. We will need HBO Max. Because let's face it, it's not going theatrical. There's absolutely no way that Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3 will get theatrical releases as a primary point of consumption. At least in my mind. There's no way that DC Films is picking it back up. Because to them, that would be like going backwards, right? And they don't want to go backwards because they think they've taken the correct route. We know that they haven't, but they don't. They think they're on their moral high road, and they gave us a little bit of what we wanted, and now they'll shut up. But that's not the case. And don't give into it. Don't give into it. Don't do exactly what they want, right? By canceling your HBO Max subscription and taking to social media saying, we're going to boycott HBO Max, you're giving them what they want, right? Because then they can turn around and say to investors or stockholders that, look at this fandom. They're crazy, right? They all they want is this, nothing else, and they will not stop. So let's just move on, right? They're going to paint a picture and create a narrative based on our actions from here going forward, right? So if we play it respectfully, we keep our HBO Max subscriptions and we play ball for a little while, all whilst still fighting, then it's a different story. But we can't burn the HBO Max bridge yet. Let me know what you think in the comments about, the whole boycott HBO Max thing. Let me know what's going on in the land of your Twitter, how you feel about things going on. And will you be keeping your HBO Max subscription? Because I don't think that HBO Max is our enemy. I think they're our ally in this fight. And I don't think it's a good idea to absolutely throw away what we've done up until this point by, kind of kicking our feet, screaming, and going down in a blaze of tears, right? Like, people, I have people quoted in my notebook as saying, this is it. The fight's over. We've lost. That's not true. That is simply just not true. The fight is not over, my friends. It's just begun. Faith, Alfred. Faith. Right? So we got to keep the faith. Keep the faith. Keep it moving. And just, be happy. Because look at this. Imagine a world where we could see Ezra Miller and Grant Gustin in the same, like a movie or a production together. I still want that, but I also want the Snyderverse. However, we have to admit that it's going to be hard to do both of those things. And, Warner Brothers is looking like, they want to move on. And if all we can get is that cul-de-sac, right? When they in the article a couple weeks ago, a month ago or something, they called what Walter Hamada as quoted as saying, the Snyderverse is a cul-de-sac. Zack Snyder's Justice League is a cul-de-sac. Well, if that turns out to be correct, and all we can get is the cul-de-sac, and a little branch of the multiverse is ours to complete the vision, that's just the way it's going to be. And we have to accept that as absolute reality, and we have to enjoy it while we have it. So if Warner Brothers moves on, goes a different direction, but we still get the Snyderverse continued on HBO Max, I think that's a win in itself. All right, it's not totally over. The point I'm making is, don't boycott HBO Max. That's counterproductive. Don't do that. It will not get us any further in this fight. Our main topic of today, guys, is that the Black Widow. All right, so it's been delayed again. It's not going to be getting its May release, and this basically means that it's official. 2 years will pass between Marvel films. Not Marvel projects, but Marvel films. There's 2 years in between Spider-Man Far From Home and when Black Widow comes out, which is now in June. It's now in June, and that has also shifted some other dates as well for Shang-Chi, The Eternals, and Spider-Man No Way Home, which is interesting. So we're going to take a look at that now. Let me get this off the screen. Where is that one? Okay, it's right there. Okay, so what are you guys thinking of the dual release structure? Because Marvel has finally adopted it. They finally looked at it and said, listen, it works for HBO Max, or it's working for HBO Max. Maybe we should do it. And I think they all got together and said, it's probably the smartest play. It's probably the smartest play right now. These dual releases are doing pretty well, as we've seen with Tom and Jerry. We've seen it with HBO Max projects. And I think that it's a smart idea on Marvel's part to include Black Widow and Cruella in this kind of dual release. Although, when they say premiere access, that typically means that there's a price tag on it. So we'll have to pay to see. We'll have to pay, and I hope it's not. So when they released, when they released Mulan, they put I think it was like $30 price tag or something like that. Like that's a little bit outrageous. That is a little bit outrageous to put on a price tag. I could see maybe putting, $10, $15 per household or per Disney Plus account, but $30 to watch a movie on Premiere Access is a little outrageous. I know that, they're kind of looking at it as, all right, how many people are per household? What would that be multiplied by movie tickets, yada, 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 so on and so forth. But $30, I really do hope that the price tag for Black Widow isn't $30. But in a way, that's almost a good thing, because then people will also definitely still want to go to theaters and see it. Because say that they're by themselves, right? it might actually be cheaper to go to the movies and see it than it would be to stay home and see it, right? You could pay $30 and watch it at home. Or if you're very basic and all you do is pay for your movie ticket, you could go out to the theater and see this movie for cheaper than you would staying at home. So that is, I guess, going to be incentive. But I think if you have a large family, if you have kids, staying at home might be the way to do it. You don't have to get a babysitter. You don't have to bring kids out to the theater. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars in concessions. So I think this is a smart move on Marvel's part. Well, are you guys going to watch? I'm interested. Are you guys going to watch Marvel's Black Widow in theaters or on Disney Plus when it comes out? Because I'm very interested to know. I mean, I'll be seeing it in theaters because we'll most likely be doing a live show for it with Showcase or AMC. We're, in the midst of a dilemma, but we'll be probably doing a live show for it. But what will you do? Will you stay at home and watch Black Widow or Cruella, or will you go out to the theaters and see it the way it was intended to be? Let's read some of these answers. 30 is a bit presumptuous. It should be $10, average price for a movie ticket. Well, $10 is a little too, because when you rent, like say when you rent a movie on demand, right? It typically is like $5. And that is when it's already done its theatrical run. It's already out of theaters, and most likely you've already seen it. If you go to the theaters, you've already seen it, right? But for most people that choose not to go to the theaters and wait for home release, it's a bargain, right? You rent the movie for $5 rather than go out and spend all that money at the theater. This is different because it's releasing on Premier Access. So $30 is too high, but I think $10 is too low. So that's why I said 15 to 20. 15 to 20 is appropriate per household, per account. And that I would be acceptable. I would accept that. I would accept that. $30. I don't know why it sounds so much. Like, when you say $30, like it sounds like so much for a movie, and it turns me off completely to pay $30 to see a movie, even if it is in the height of the summer, right? And it's a big blockbuster movie like Black Widow. Something about saying $30 for Disney's Premier Access, it leaves like a salty taste in my mouth, right? Like $30 to see a movie on Disney Premier Plus. Not that, like, my home theater is beautiful. Dolby Atmos, the whole nine. I have an 85-inch TV. So like when I sit there in my home theater, I actually do have a great experience. But going out to the theater is so, like, it's such a thing for me that I enjoy it. I enjoy going to the movie theater, and I enjoy going to see these films the way they were intended. But the $30 price tag to see it at home, even $29.99 sounds better. But say it out loud. Say it with me. $30. Yeah, it just sounds bad. Nope, just sounds terrible. And it comes out in July. Wait. What? Now I'm confused. It's July, right? That it comes out. Let me go to my thingy here, because I have a little banner for it. Yeah, right here. Let me see. Yeah, July 9th is Black Widow. And then subsequently, September 3rd, Shang-Chi. November 5th, Eternals. And then December 17th, Spider-Man No Way Home, which I think is really cool. I think that's awesome. Spider-Man 3, like a Christmas release, I think is going to be a really good idea. I think it'll get a lot of people out. It'll get a lot of people to the theater. Myself, Christmas Day, we have a tradition, and we go see movies on Christmas Day, me and the whole family. So I enjoy a Christmas Day movie, and I think the Spider-Man 3 debuting around Christmas time is a really smart idea. As far as the other releases go, July 9th for Black Widow will be a dual release in theaters and on Disney+. September 3rd, I guess they're playing that by ear, and we'll see. But Shang-Chi will debut as of right now in theaters on September 3rd. And then November 5th will be Eternals. Now, it looks like the longest hump will be the 2-year mark. It'll be 2 years and some change between Spider-Man, Far From Home, and Black Widow. It'll be almost 2 years, 2 years and some change that we have seen a Marvel film come out. That is the longest it's ever been since the start of this shared cinematic universe. And it has felt like that amount of time. Like, you know when sometimes you'll be like, oh, well, it doesn't even feel like 2 years. This feels like 2 years. It's been a while since we've been in the theater and we've been able to see a Marvel film. Luckily, we've gotten Marvel projects on Disney Plus now with the release of WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier. So it's kind of holding us over. But not going to lie, kind of sucks. Kind of sucks that it's been 2 years. It'll be 2 years since the last Marvel film came out at the time that we see Black Widow. And I think that's another reason that they should not be charging us $30 to see it at home. I think maybe they should lower it to $15 to $20 for premiere access. Last film that I saw in theaters was, like Ryan just said, was Tenet. And I saw it twice in theaters. And then before that, I saw the New Mutants. And those are the only two movies I've seen in theaters since the pandemic started. And that's depressing to me because I love going to the movie theater. I don't know about you guys, but the movie theater for me, I'll go 2-3 times a week. And it's a way I can like escape regular life. So that's another reason the whole premiere access thing and like the dual release with HBO Max. I still don't like watching it at home. Not that I wouldn't have a good time watching it at home. It's just when I go to the theater, it's something that I do with myself, right? It's like it's an experience that I share with myself, and it's an experience where I get out of the house and I forget about life for a couple minutes, you know. And it means so much to me to go to the movie theater, you know, get dressed, go to the movie theater, you know, get your ticket, stand in line, you know, depending on what movie it is. So that whole process is sacred to me. And it's sacred. It's like a ritual. And I myself was a member of the Stubbs premiere. Hey Nathaniel, what's going on, man? So I was a member of AMC Stubbs premiere. AMC Stubbs premiere was perfect for people like me because you got to see 3 movies per week, which means per month, roughly, you got to see 9 movies per month. And if it was a new release, it didn't matter. If it was IMAX, it didn't matter. You know, it didn't matter what format you wanted to see it in. But AMC Stubbs premiere was good for me, and it was $30 a month to see 9 movies. That was a hell of a bargain for me, and I was all over that. But I had to cancel that subscription because of the pandemic, because they asked me, hey, you know, to help support the theater, would you mind to keeping your $30 AMC Stubbs premiere membership? No! Absolutely not. AMC is a corporation. No, but it was such a tough decision to make. Like, I would love to be going to the theater right now. I really would. But is it safe? I think so. I am okay with going to the theater. What did you say here? Let's read some of the comments now, guys. Keaton called me out. Honestly, Ryan, he's still on his Zack Snyder Justice League hype train. Dude, me too, man. I've seen it 6 times now. Samuel says same. Belboo, by the way, welcome to the Pop Culture Corner. Caden Reed said it's absurd. Oh, yeah, we already read those ones. Snyderverse and HBO Max are inseparable from now on. I couldn't agree more. I really couldn't. HBO Max and Jason Kylar is our last hope. Don't let WB get to us. Stay strong. True. Not a big DC fan. More of a Marvel fan. But after watching the Snyder Cut, they should definitely continue the Snyderverse. Well said. The Black Widow poster looks weird. I know it does. Doesn't it look photoshopped almost? Like it looks, and here. I don't know what it is. But they both look kind of fucking strange to me. They definitely look strange. That's right. I don't know about you guys. And maybe I'm an asshole for saying this, but I never asked for a Black Widow movie. Especially now that she's dead. Right? I never asked for this movie. I'm glad we're getting it. Trust me, I'm all about solo outings and fun adventures for certain characters. But I was always one of the ones that was like, a Black Widow movie, meh. Do we really need it? A Black Widow series on Disney Plus? That's a different story. That is a different story entirely. Her face, oh yeah, looks photoshopped. Yeah, there it is. Black Widow is July 9th. It's $30. Yep. Because this RDJ's last time as Iron Man and Black Widow, they should have released it on May 5th because that's when Iron Man was released. Well, it'll be more of like a flashback form that we see. This whole movie's a flashback, I guess. So, yeah, so we will be seeing RDJ in some sort of cameo role again, which I don't know if I'm for that. I think we should have waited a little bit before seeing him as, kind of hold that weight. But I mean, if they do it tastefully, I'm acceptable with that. 30 is a bit presumptuous. It should be $10. Theaters, 20 months since last time I was at. Jesus, 20 months. My God. I'm probably only going to watch it once, honestly, not something I'll revisit. So I'll probably go to the theaters. Jack says maybe theaters. What else comes out in June? I don't know about June. Remember, Disney is a family company. They know families have Disney Plus, so $30 is cheaper. And that's what I was saying. For families, this makes sense. And this is a smart move on Disney's part. They know that a lot of people have families that watch these Marvel movies. So for them doing this, $30 is a good price point. And that's kind of good because it also gives us incentive to go see it in theaters. Because for us that don't have large families or kids that we're bringing to the movie, this might be better for us to go see it in theaters. So it's kind of, I guess, smart in a way. Charge 20. The last movie I saw in theaters was Spider-Man Far From Home. My Lord. Yeah, true, which would be 2 years ago. 29 sounds better. It sounds bulky. Then they tell me that it's July. DC Talk with Extended is here. Finally. She isn't dead. Yeah, last time I checked, Black Widow is most certainly dead. In the current timeline, I definitely watched her jump into that little pit in Endgame and die. So no, she's definitely dead. She's definitely dead. That's why, like, the whole Black Widow movie, I was like, because it's going to be like a flashback movie from a period of time before Endgame. And like, yeah, like, all right, it's just, for me personally, I wasn't totally on board with like, all right, let's go backtracking, right? Let's go backtrack and watch a movie that came out. Like, I want to get into the post-Endgame world. I really do. Just came from seeing The Dark Knight in theaters. Yeah. I was not talking about Yelena. Not at all. Talking about Black Widow. Yelena has not been introduced to anybody yet. So I'm strictly speaking from the standards of a Black Widow movie, right? Black Widow, the Black Widow that we know. I was never really asking for this film. And to then knowing or finding out that it's a Black Widow movie that takes place between Civil War and Endgame. I don't know. It just doesn't excite me the way I wish it would. And it doesn't, I'm not as excited as I want to be about Black Widow. But I mean, at this point, it is Marvel content. So I suppose that, I should just be grateful for that because, Marvel content, as far as I'm concerned, it always entertains me. So I'm sure that they did a really good job with Black Widow, introducing Yelena Belova, and other characters from her past, which is, I'm really excited to see Red Guardian. I'm a huge, like, words can't even describe how excited I am for Red Guardian. He's really the part of Black Widow that excites me the most. I guess I am excited then. I guess I am excited. Caden, you got me there. I'm excited. Just for Red Guardian and hopefully we could see what they're gonna do post Endgame Black Widow. Will they bring Yelena into the fold as the main Black Widow? I think that's a high possibility. I'm excited to see the Red Room get explored more. More of Black Widow's storyline and her origin stories. Yeah, those are gonna all be fun things to watch. Those are going to be fun things to watch and see. It's just, maybe they could have done a Disney Plus series instead of a full-fledged film. Maybe that would have been a better platform to tell the story on. And the fact that they keep delaying it is kind of bothersome to me. Because, like I said, this isn't a movie that everybody's like demanding come out right now. It would be nice if it came out right now, right? It would be nice if they debuted it on Disney Plus, Premier Access, whatever you want to call it, like a couple months ago. And I think that would have been, I think a Disney Plus Black Widow show, even if it was the context that we're seeing this Black Widow movie take, right? It's between Civil War and Endgame. I think that would have been cool, right? I think that would have been really cool. But a full-fledged movie, I don't know, I feel like this story needs more than 2 hours to be told, and that's depressing to me. Guys, is there anything else that you want to talk about today? Bring up some things. I'm going to take a couple requests now. If no one does have any requests, we'll probably start wrapping it up. While we wait for that, guys, we are doing a show on March 31st, live from Showcase Theaters, Showcase Cinemas Deluxe. It's going to be really fun. It's for Godzilla vs. Kong. It's going to be live, all-day coverage. Check it out. Basically, in layman's terms, this place is awesome. Oh, so that's we're gonna be doing a live show March 31st. I also have some other updates as far as the show goes. So this Saturday is the Us United stream. Joining me on March 27th from 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is going to be Allison Crowe for the first half. And the second half, Brandon Spink, who played young Bruce Wayne in Batman v Superman, will also be joining me to help raise money for AFSP and to say thank you to Zack Snyder. That's going to be this Saturday, March 27th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so be here for that. Also, next Saturday, we'll be joined by the chief film critic, the chief film reviewer, Owen Gleiberman. His name is going to be so hard for me to pronounce. Owen Gleiberman from Variety. We'll be asking him all sorts of questions about the article that was just written. It wasn't by him, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about his thoughts and feelings on the Snyder Cut. We'll also get a look into what it is to be a film critic. That's going to be a really exciting podcast, so make sure you join us live for that. We're going to be doing a dual live show, the first one of its kind. We're going to be doing it live on here, so it'll be live on Facebook. It'll be live on YouTube. It'll be live on Periscope. It'll be live on Twitch. But it will also be live on Podbean and subsequently all of our podcast platforms. So that's going to be cool. We're going to be doing it live everywhere. Every single one of our platforms, that will be live for. So that's going to be really fun to do. It's going to be really fun to test out. So anywhere that you watch us, listen to us, whether it's a podcast platform or whether you like to watch us, you'll be able to watch next Saturday's, not this Saturday, but next Saturday's show with Chief Film Critic from Variety. He also worked for Entertainment Weekly. Was it Entertainment Tonight? Entertainment Weekly, I believe. He worked for them for many, many years. So that's going to be really fun. So Keaton did say that he would like to talk about Shazam 2 villain and Echo TV show. Now, I didn't see anything about this. So I guess I'll have to check my messages for what he shared with me. Helen Mirren. Oh, okay. So I can share my screen for y'all. Let me get my share. Let me get that. Share. So, we have here Helen Mirren to play villain in Shazam sequel. Okay. Interesting. I didn't see that. Come on with the goddamn ads. Skip the ad. So, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. If I could speak, that would be wonderful. Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Helen Mirren to play villain Hespera in the sequel. Helen Mirren has closed a deal to play the villain Hespera, a daughter of Atlas, in New Line and DC Films' Shazam, Fury of the Gods, the sequel to the box office hit adaptation of the comic book. Zachary Levi is set to reprise his role of Shazam, of course, with Rachel Zelger also aboard. Shazam, Fury of the Gods is the anticipated sequel to New Line in DC's 2019 film Shazam, and will continue the story of teenage Billy Batson, who, upon reciting the magic word Shazam, is struck by the living lightning of the gods and transformed into his adult superhero alter ego. Well, I did not know that they tapped Helen Mirren to play the villain. That's news to me as well. That's awesome. She's a really wonderful actress, and I think she brings some really some veteran acting chops to the fold. I don't think I've ever seen her play a villain. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you know, she probably has played a villain. I just don't know about it. But correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I remember ever seeing Helen as a villain in something. But, like, I don't know. She does have a face of a villain, so maybe I'm way off here. And maybe I'm just guessing. But, wow, that's awesome. Also, Keaton also said, okay, Hawkeye spin-off series about Echo in early development for Disney+. So this is an exclusive from Variety by Jordan Moreau. So the Hawkeye series at Disney+ may already be getting a spin-off. A show centered on Echo, a deaf Native American character who will be played by Alaqua Cox in the Hawkeye series, is in early stages of development for Disney+. Variety has learned exclusively from sources. Ethan Cohen and Emily Cohen are attached to write and executive produce the show, with a writer's room recently being assembled. Marvel Studios will produce. Reps from Marvel Studios declined to comment, which is always a good thing. If you have an exclusive and they decline to comment, that's a good thing. Yes, you did miss something. So they've pushed back Black Widow to July 9th, and they're going to do a dual release. And potentially $30, yes. Yes. Thoughts on the new Resident Evil movie? So Echo series. I think Echo is a great character. I didn't even know that she was going to be in Hawkeye. That's how much I've not been paying attention to anything besides the Snyder Cut. Isn't that crazy? I know, it's crazy. But Echo is a good character to kind of explore diversity amongst the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I think that's awesome. I really do. I think that's a good call to make. And they clearly like what they're seeing from the woman, the girl that's playing Echo, that they're already spinning it off into its own production. And I think that's awesome. Especially with Cohen's at the helm. I think that's going to be a great project. And I'm really excited for that now. So thoughts on this is the kind of the last thing I'll talk about today. Thoughts on the new Resident Evil movie. I do not play video games. So I've never actually liked Resident Evil. I know you can burn me at the stake if you like, right? Hang me up from a pole and let's all throw apples at him and put a sign on him that say, this kid doesn't like video games, throw apples at him. But yeah, I don't really care for Resident Evil. I think that the others, Kate, who played, was it Kate Beckinsale that did Resident Evil before? Or am I wrong about that? I know you guys will let me know. Did Kate Beckinsale do Resident Evil? Was that who did that? Let me know before I move on. I don't know. It might have been. But, so yeah, I'm not a huge Resident Evil fan. And then I know Raccoon City or something like that is supposed to be the title or something like that. Something about raccoons. That is more of a Justice or a Big Drip conversation. Or a Jack conversation, producer Jack. They are the people that really like the video game stuff. What did Kate Beckinsale do? Oh no, she did Underworld. That's what Kate Beckinsale did. Who did Resident Evil? Oh, Milla Jovovich. That's right. Okay, I was completely stupid there. So Marvel is still going strong with their plan and lost interest from me, but they are doing well. WB and Warner Media execs with Ann Sarnoff are the most foolish people on earth, and that is, I hope, are we going to get a closing on that? I don't know. But yeah, so that was my fault. So Milla Jovovich played the Resident Evil character. Kate Beckinsale did the Underworld movies. But to me, they're all the same thing. Like, they all look the same. I never was into video games, so I never really, those weren't my things. I mean, I guess Resident Evil, the movies, apparently you can just go watch them and not have had to play the video games. But still, for some reason, to me, they never sparked interest, and I never jumped on the bandwagon for Resident Evil or Underworld or any of those shows. I mean, those movies. So, I mean, maybe I'm crazy, but if you guys want me to watch them, I'll try. I just don't find them interesting. They don't jump out to me. Ann Sarnoff isn't the highest authority, thankfully. That's true. Saying it nicely, their collective IQ, if generated into electricity can maybe lightly toast a slice of bread. I'm dead. That's hilarious. I love that. Carlos, you're a little late to the party, unfortunately. Guys, that's all the time I have for you today. I know. Boo. But, guys, check it out. We'll be back tomorrow night for Quick Dip. We hopefully have a guest coming who maybe has a state in his name. It might. I don't know. We're still waiting on word from that. But Quick Dip tomorrow night, live, baby. Quick Dip live, starting at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4:45 p.m. Pacific. That's going to be really fun, so make sure you tune in to Quick Dip tomorrow night. Then Thursday, I'll be back. TY's Corner, The Daily Show. We'll be back. Then Friday, we'll be doing something special for all of y'all. And Saturday, Us United. If you have to choose one show to be a part of, make sure it's the Us United stream, because we're going to be raising money for AFSP. We're going to be joined by Allison Crow and Brandon Spink, who played young Bruce Wayne in Batman v Superman. It's going to be a great day, and I can't wait for all of you to be a part of it. We'll be doing that as a dual release. Get it? Get what I did there? As a dual release on our podcast platform live, and all of our YouTubes and Facebooks and Twitters and all that. So that's going to be a really fun time. Oh, wait. No, that's not the one I'm talking about. No, just kidding. Just kidding. This Saturday is Us United. We'll be doing that live on YouTube. And then next Saturday, we'll be talking to the film chief critic at Variety. And we'll be doing that as a dual release, the way I just said before. Guys, thank you to everyone who showed up today. If it was your first time here, we want to thank you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to show your continued support for the success of the show. If you're returning today, we want to thank you for being the lifeblood of the Pop Culture Corner. We love you all equally. Consider becoming a Patreon member. It really does help and support the show. Truly, if you like the HD streams, if you like being able to do all these cool projects and documentaries, yada yada, then definitely become a Patreon member. It helps us. So instead of coming out of my pocket directly, which a lot of stuff does right now, it helps me a little bit. We do it for you. We do it for the culture. I am not a good singer. I'm sorry about that.